Good afternoon, Uncommon. I'm your boy TJ, and it is that time of the week again for us to get uncommon. And so I wanted to reach out to you this week. I hope I'm catching you at a good time. The holidays are upon us. I don't know where you are right now, but it's finally cold on a consistent basis. My kind of cold, but enough that it reminds us of the Christmas season. And so if you're new to our session here, each week we do a broadcast for husbands, dads, and leaders. And many times we'll also do a miscellaneous. We're trying to do some topic-driven sessions. And so this week we're focusing on dads. And I know many of you watch this after you get off of the work, you work during the week or weekends or nights, that kind of thing. So if you ever have any comments, even if it's off of our live time slot, please leave your comments below, because we're always checking back to see if we need to answer any questions, or it helps us do the next rotation of session, our Facebook Live. So I hope everybody's doing well and your Christmas shopping is almost complete. If you have not started, I suggest you hop on that shopping spree quickly, because you do not want to be caught in the mall on Christmas Eve. Comedy movies have been made about that exact scenario, so try to avoid that. And so this week, we're focusing on dads, and the title of our segment is Dad, That Santa Suit Doesn't Fit. And so I was kind of inspired to work on some content around Christmas traditions since we're coming up on that holiday. And so each week I've been reaching out to a group of guys. They're probably tired of hearing me or getting a text from me with these questions, but until they stop answering, I'll keep asking. And so this week I asked them a question and got a bunch of feedback, and so I wanted to share that with you. Before we get started, I wanted to do a little housekeeping. Two things are going on. If you're not familiar with the process, we have two things happening. One is our year-end fundraiser. Instead of just running it on Giving Tuesday, we're running it all of December, and I'll put a link down to that. We are looking for help, whether it be a one-time gift, an ongoing gift would be fantastic. We really need those. And it could be any size that you are moved to give. We have some people who gave $5, some have given $150, everything in between. Some last year gave $2,500. And so that goes directly back into the ministry to help run and develop new content and functionality and programs for Uncommon, which ultimately are for you. And then the second thing is we're wrapping up on our year-end goal for our membership program. We have 19 memberships to go to reach our goal. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think we can do it. 19 more memberships before the end of December 31st. So next week, I'll be making an announcement of some new features of our membership program. So you're going to want to get your membership going now to capitalize on that. So those are the two things I wanted to mention to you in the beginning of this segment. Now we can move on to the research that I sent to the guys. So I sent about 15 guys a question. I said, what Christmas tradition do you enjoy the most? And so, I wanted, last week I asked them to give me one word answers. And, you would think that, guys don't speak a whole lot comparatively. And so I thought one word would be easy. Sometimes the word, they wanted to give me more than just one word. But this week I made it easy for them. I gave them the question, what Christmas tradition do you enjoy the most? And so I'll just read some of the the feedback to you, and you can kind of associate one or more of those that kind of resonate with you. We celebrate Jesus through Hanukkah. One is Christmas Eve is always at our house with just our family prior to traveling anywhere, and everybody gets a new pair of pajamas. That is a great tradition. I think my wife just joined this session. Honey, I think we might want to implement that because those pajamas get wore out through the year. So new PJs every year. Sounds like a good idea. The next one is getting together with family friends on Christmas Eve at church. Now this rings for me because we get together with our best friends. We go do a worship service together that does the Christmas story. Then we go out to eat and just have a great time. We've been doing that for over a decade. It's just one of the things we always do together. We see each other many, many times throughout the year, but that is one thing we always do together. Another thing that resonates with me as well, driving around looking at Christmas lights in a Christmas Eve church service, serving opportunities. So back home in New Orleans, there are some really good neighborhoods that decorate. And I grew up driving around the city with my parents or my friends or my wife-to-be and my wife and kids, and seeing all the neighborhoods that I grew up with decorating more and more over the years. They'd have cops that would have to do traffic control in a certain direction because so many people were attending or driving through neighborhoods to see these displays. And then also, I think New Orleans, hands down, has some of the best Christmas decorations in City Park. It's called Celebration in the Oaks. It is fantastic. If you have not gone, do so. If you live in New Orleans, you've not gone, shame on you. You should lose your Cajun card. Go see the Celebration in the Oaks. It is fantastic. You can park and walk through it, or you can drive through it. Either one is fantastic. It is a very large park. I think it's second in size to Central Park in New York, but ours, I think, is better. Those live oaks with those swooping branches, oh my goodness, it is fantastic. I'm getting homesick already. Let's see, when our boys were younger, we loved decorating cookies and cupcakes. Now they're young adults attending Christmas Eve service and dinner afterwards. Then Christmas Day, enjoying time together as we share a meal and watch Christmas movies. We watch a lot of Christmas movies. We always kind of have a list going. And we're all watching them sometimes together right now because our boys are grown and one's married and one's almost married. And so we watch them together sometimes. Sometimes we watch them on the same night, like, hey, what are you watching tonight? We'll do that together. And then sometimes it's just my wife and I. So last night, let's see, we watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which you always think it's better than it is. And you watch it and you're like, And then we watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original animated piece. So if you want to make comments below, put your favorite Christmas movie you watch. For me, hands down, White Christmas. Then it goes How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but the Jim Carrey version. So leave your favorite Christmas movie comment below. Let's see, the next one is Christmas Eve service, where we take the Lord's Supper, because it reminds me that Jesus did not come to just be born, but also to die. Spending time watching Christmas movies together. This is specific. Watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's probably my number 3 on my list. And then last but not least, Christmas Eve service at church. So you can see that there's a common thread, a lot of family time, a lot of traditions that people go through. You may have something unique to your family, but share it with people. Hold on to that, embrace those memories and moments. The holidays can be a crazy, busy, and stressful stressful time for a lot of people. And we're pulled this way and that many times to places we may not even want to go. But make sure we're doing the things that help us keep our focus on Christ during this Christmas season. Because there are many things out there that's going to try to distract you from away from the message of Christmas and Jesus. Every commercial I see, rarely do they have anything in it about the coming of Jesus, the birth of Christ. There's sales out the wazoo, and there this movement and that agenda. But boy, I rarely see, if at all, anything around the meaning of Christmas, unless I'm watching a movie specifically for that. How refreshing would it be to see a commercial like that among all the other commercials? So I went through and I checked on our archives to see how many Christmas-related stories we have. One of them is actually on our website currently. That's got a Christmas tone to it. But these are some that I think that you would enjoy to read on our website. Some of these are kind of old. Some of these are in the middle. So this one here is Uncommon Dads Make Holiday Memories with Kids. This next one is Get Your Good Samaritan Game On. Someone's getting jiggy with that title. Another one is from our partner site. So one of our partners is A Wife Like Me. And every once in a while, I want to drop in one of their blog posts for some of our female viewers and followers and listeners because they are looking for some content as well. But also from our guys' standpoint, it is good to read where your wife is coming from that perspective, because that's why we have about 7 to 10% of our audience for this female on Uncommon. They're here to try to understand us, trying to understand men, their husbands, their dads, their uncles, right? All that. So don't turn your nose up at this. This is a fantastic website. It's called A Wife Like Me. And this one is prioritizing your husband during the Christmas season. It's a great read. It's about a young couple who just got married and how they experienced each other that first couple of years. All of a sudden they had their first child, and then things changed. And so it's about that situation. I highly recommend you read that. Amanda does a fantastic job over there at A Wife Like Me. And then our latest devotion. So our latest devotion, I specifically wrote this. I wanted something that was a nod toward Christmas, but also was generic enough to be an every day, every month kind of devotion. Because if you look at YouVersion right now, boy, they're chock full of Advent studies, which are fantastic. My wife and I are doing one right now, but they have a shelf life. So after the lights come down and all the presents and stuff are done, everybody like packs up Christmas and puts it back in the attic. Then what do you do? So this is one that I think still resonates all year long. It's called Wise Men Still Seek Wisdom. And so this is our latest devotion on YouVersion. And so I highly recommend you go check it out. We do one of these every month. And so this came out December 1st. So it is still warm off the presses. And it's called Wise Men Still Seek Wisdom. If you have taken any of our Uncommon studies on Olive Tree or YouVersion, you may not realize that, but not only are we on YouVersion, but we're also on Olive Tree. Let us know in the comments below what devotion you took and what was the main thing you got out of there. How did it impact you? Whether you loved it, hated it, anything in between, let us know. What do you think about that? I think we're almost at 40 devotions on YouVersion alone. So next year we will hit our 50th devotion mark. We already hit 1 million completions this past year, during this year. I think it was like around October and November. So we are all about that business. So those are some of the articles and also our devotion around the topic of Christmas. And remember, guys, that the title of this thing was, Dad, that Santa suit don't fit. You're not called to be Santa to your family and your kids at this time of season. You're called to be like Jesus, not like Santa, more like Jesus. And so we have a tendency as dads to like, boy, I want to buy my child this, buy my wife that. The commercials just flood our airwaves through of things to purchase. Like it's a commercial that the guy gives a girl a puppy. She gives him a brand new GMC pickup. And I paused it the other night, and that puppy, just say it was an expensive puppy, maybe $1,000 puppy. It was, say, a rare Saint Bernard, whatever. That GMC MSRP was $67,650. These are the kind of things that they're always pushing toward you on a commercial. How about we kind of reprioritize our focus and be a little bit more around the topic of Jesus and the focus on in the ultimate gift at Christmas, and really tailor our traditions toward that message. And so I just wanted to hop in here with you and give you that information that I have been blessed with to look at or research during the week. It's always fun to prep for these sessions because it makes me go through the process of identifying, well, what would be beneficial to our audience, learning about that topic myself, and then that cascades through my walk with Christ and also through Uncommon content and into my family and friends and all that kind of thing. So I enjoy prepping for these sessions and also doing these sessions too. We have one more session for this year as I'm taking off the last 2 weeks of the year. There will be no more after next week for this year, but 2020, we will start this engine again and be doing them every Thursday at about 2 o'clock. So be on the lookout for next week's. I don't know what it's going to be around, probably Christmas again. It should be focused on leaders, but who knows? Usually at this time of the year, you'll see Jack, our mascot, start to take on a Grinch-like demeanor. He starts to turn green, unlike the Hulk, but more like the Grinch. So be on the lookout for that. And then also next week's session, I'm going to be announcing the new features of membership that is starting January 1st. So be sure to tune in or at least watch that and get your membership going. Again, that membership is $25 a year. I know you thought it was going to be $25 a month. It's $25 a year. Can't beat that deal. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I hope that you found some value in this. And so be sure to sign up for our newsletter at uncommon.org. We send out a weekly newsletter that recaps or at least gives you the article to read, as well as links to the previous 4 or 5 articles on that in case you missed those. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And then be sure to like, comment, and share when you're on our social media. That helps us get the message out. It ripples through people's networks, and it helps us reach people who are far from God. So once again, guys, I thank you for your time. I hope you have a fantastic week. And if you're going to be something, you might as well be uncommon.